What's good, fam? Thanks for joining me again for another GoatFormat video. I hope everybody had a very nice week. Happy holidays to everybody in the States. Today I'm bringing to you the finals of the first World Championship qualifiers that took place last Sunday. Between two titans in the GoatFormat community, you have champion Carl Waite versus champion Jonathan LaBounty, both players members of Team Rampage. So this is it, guys. This is the finals of the tournament. I'm very excited to watch this. Obviously, both of these players are champions and really good GoatFormat players. So let's just hop right in and see who's gonna win this rock, paper, scissors. So Jonathan LaBounty is gonna win the rock, paper, scissors here. Obviously, they're gonna choose to go first. Opening hand for Jonathan LaBounty is Heavy Storm, Call of the Haunted, Trap Dust Shoot, Breaker the Magical Warrior, and Reinforcements of the Army. Carl Waite's opening hand is Magician of Faith, Nobleman Crossout, Gravekeeper Spy, Book of Moon, and Night Assailant. 6 card for LaBounty is Premature Burial. So I don't see much of a play happening here. If anything, I probably see him setting Trap Dust Shoot and passing over. But let's see what he's gonna do here. So he sets Dust Shoot in heavy and passes. Carl Waite draws into a Phoenix Wing Wing Blast. I'm assuming that LaBounty is just going to shotgun this Trap Dust Shoot. So he activates the Dust Shoot, gets rid of the Gravekeeper Spy. And I don't see much of a play here. Maybe Carl's going to set the Book of Moon and just pass over. Okay, so he just straight up passes. LaBounty draws into another Trap Dust Shoot. So I think he's just gonna So I think he's just gonna roll it right here, get a Donzalug and swing in. There's an open board, so I don't see a reason why you wouldn't. But he swings in for 1400. Let's see what he's gonna hit here. So he hits the cross out. I don't know why he's rolling the dice so many times, but he hit the Nobleman across out. Then he sets his other Trap Dust Shoot, passes over. Carl Waite draws into Snatch Steal. I'm assuming that the Trap Dust Shoot is going to get activated here too. Yeah, so he plays the Dust Shoot, gets rid of the Magician of Faith, and Carl Waite's going to activate Snatch Steal here and swing in for 1400. And then at this point, I probably would feel safe setting both cards. We don't know that Jonathan LaBounty has a Heavy Storm down. So if he were to set these cards, he's probably thinking that maybe a Solemn Judgment or something like that. But let's see what Carl Waite's gonna do here. So he hits Call the Haunted off. And then he sets both Book of Moon and Wing Blast. Passes it over to LaBounty. LaBounty draws into Torrential Tribute. He's gonna get 1,000 for Snatch Steal and then activate Heavy Storm from the rip. Waite activates Book of Moon to keep the Donzalug on his side of the board. But LaBounty drops Breaker, swings in at the Donzalug. Then he sets Torrential and passes over. Waite draws himself into a Thunder Dragon. So he's gonna set Night Assailant and activate Thunder Dragon. This is an unfortunate situation to be in. Drawing that Thunder Dragon is the same as not drawing any card at all or skipping your draw phase. But anyway, he's going to search out his Thunder Dragons here and pass over to LaBounty. LaBounty is going to draw into a Saku. So he's going to activate the Premature Burial and then swing in with the Breaker. Okay, Night Assailant's going to eat up the Breaker. Donzalug he's going to let go through because he's got Thunder Dragon in his hand. And then he could have just set the Sakuretsu also. Okay, so he has a Torrential. He doesn't want to set the Saku. Carl Waite draws into a Pot of Greed, which is a really good draw here. Plays the pot, gets himself a Chaos Orc and a Magician of Faith. So this is really good here. He could drop the Sork and get rid of the Donzalug. And then try to set the Magician of Faith after that. But let's see what happens here. So he drops the Sork. Prio, press to banish the Don. LaBounty activates Torrential Tribute. Now he's going to set the Magician of Faith and pass over. LaBounty draws into Sasuke Samurai. I'm sorry, Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. Okay, LaBounty draws into Sasuke. Swings into Magician of Faith. That's going to get him back his Pot of Greed. Now he's going to set his Sakuretsu armor, pass over. White draws into an upstart goblin, so I think he's going to play the upstart first. Draws himself into a ring. So he sets ring and plays Pot of Greed. I'm assuming because he doesn't want that face down card to be a trap dust shoot. If he keeps the ring in pots, he'll draw into 4 cards. Then at the end of the chain, LaBounty could just activate the trap dust shoot if he would have it down. So that was a really good play by Carl White. Plays the Pot of Greed, draws into a Wing Blast and a Serpent, which isn't that bad. He has a ring down, so I'm assuming he's going to set the Wing Blast and also set the Sinister because you don't necessarily want to take damage. And you don't necessarily also want to ring this Ninja Grandmaster. But let's see what he does. So he just sets the Wing Blast, passes over. LaBounty just swings because he doesn't want to get Mirror Forced or Torrential Tributed. White rings the Destruction. Now he drops Duty Warrior Lady, passes over. Carl draws into a Mirror Force. So he could just set Mirror Force and pass. But a really good way to try to get some use off of this Thunder Dragon is if he sets the Serpent with the Mirror Force, because then LaBounty will swing into it, he can Mirror Force, and then if LaBounty doesn't have a bigger monster, then White could just sack for this Thunder Dragon and start swinging with it. But let's see what's going to happen here. So he does set the Mirror Force with the Serpent, so I'm assuming he's thinking the same play I'm thinking. LaBounty draws to a Smashing Ground, which isn't doing anything here. He's going to swing in with Warrior Lady. That's going to get Mirror Force. Passes over. Carl draws into a BLS, which he does have Light and Dark for. But let's see first. You have a Wing Blast. But let's see what he's going to do here first. He could just sack for this Thunder Dragon and start swinging in. And then as a follow-up play next turn, let's see his graveyard. He does have Light and Dark. So if LaBounty doesn't draw into a Chaos Monster, then as a follow-up next turn, he could just drop the BLS and try to man up with that also. Also, if Carl White drops this Thunder Dragon and LaBounty draws into something like a Blade Knight or another Rhoda, he's just going to swing into the Thunder Dragon. And then next turn, the BLS can just clear the Blade Knight. So yeah, anyways, guys, let's see what he's going to do here. So he sacks for Thunder Dragon, swings in for 1600. Passes over, LaBounty draws into a Solemn. He plays the Smashing Ground, which is really good. Sets Solemn Judgment, passes over. By the way, it's really good that he played the Smashing Ground for Carl. But anyway, Carl draws into an Upstart Goblin, goes to standby. I'm assuming he's going to get a Serpent here. Then he's going to play the Upstart Goblin. Draws into a Night Assailant. So he could just set the Night Assailant and hold it off. Try to keep it alive with this Wing Blast Serpent. But let's see what he's going to do here. Okay, so he sets the Serpent. Which is going to let this Wing Blast get him back his Magician of Faith. So that was really good. I didn't see that play. Passes over. LaBounty draws Sork. So he just passes over. White draws into a Sork as well. So he decides to activate Wing Blast. He hits the Solemn Judgment. Gets back his Magician of Faith. Now he drops the Sork here. So this is pretty cool. Both players are playing really tight, which is something that I would expect from such a high caliber match. And I'm really happy to see this. But anyways, Carl drops the Sork. Tries to swing in for 2300. LaBounty lets that go through because obviously he has his own Chaos Sorcerer to eat it up. And then he also has the Solemn Judgment that he's going to draw into. So if I'm LaBounty, I'm feeling pretty confident about this. White's going to set his Magician of Faith. Pass over. LaBounty draws into the Solemn. Drops the Sork. Gets rid of the Chaos Sorcerer. Sets Judgment, passes over. White draws into Tribe Infecting Virus. Flips Magician of Faith. Grabs Pot of Greed. LaBounty's gonna solemn this off the rip. And then Carl Waite drops BLS here. Drops into defense mode, banishes the Sork. Swings in for 300. Passes over, LaBounty draws it to a level 2. So he's gonna drop it and swing into the Magician of Faith. He knows it's the Serpent because he saw the Serpent before already. So he swings into the Faith. Passes over, White draws it to a breaker, and that's the end of this game here. So Carl Waite gets game 1. Let's go right into game 2. LaBounty draws into Ring of Destruction, Smashing Ground, Premature Burial, BLS, and Duo. Opening hand for Carl is Serpent, Thunder Dragon, Ring, MST, Faith. 6 card for LaBounty is Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. So this hand pretty much tells you what to do. So activate Duo, summon Kaiku, set Ring is the play here. So he plays the Delinquent Duo here. He hits the Sinister Serpent. Carl chucks his MST from his hand. So I'm not too sure if I would have chucked the MST. I probably would have chucked the Thunder Dragon. Only because I'm playing against Warriors and I know they have back row, so I might want to hold on to that MST, which is an active card, as opposed to Thunder Dragon, which you're gonna have to draw into something really good for that to work, or you're gonna have to get a Dark in your graveyard and then draw into a Sork or a BLS for it to do anything. But anyway, that's just what I would have done. Let's see what's gonna happen here. He's probably just gonna summon Kaiku and then set Ring of Destruction to pass over. Okay, so he sets the Kaiku. Carl draws into a Saku. He's gonna get back his Serpent here. So no Dust Shoot, activates Thunder Dragon. Gets his other pair of Thunder Dragons, and then I think he's just gonna set 2 here and pass. He doesn't necessarily have to set, well, he could set the Serpent in case a Judgment happens. But let's see what he's gonna do here anyways. If he does set both of them and then he swings in, Saku gets activated, then Judgment gets activated, Carl could activate a Ring of Destruction afterwards, at the end of the chain before the damage step happens. But let's see what's gonna happen anyways. So he sets everything with the Faith, passes over. LaBounty draws him to Donzalug. Let's see what he's gonna do here. Drops Don. Flips Kaiku. Swings in with the Donzalug. Magician of Faith is gonna get him back the MST here. Kaiku's gonna swing. That's gonna get Saku'd. And he's just gonna end his turn. And then Carl draws into a card destruction, which is crazy, bro. So I'm assuming he's gonna activate this MST because he doesn't want the card D to get solemned. But let's see what he's gonna do here. Yeah, so space that. Get it out of there. Activates card D. That was a wild draw, all right? Draws it to Zing Zang Hu, Mirror Force, and another Zing Zang Hu. So I think just setting Zing Zang Hu is the play here. But let's see what Carl's gonna do. So he sets everything and passes over, which is a really ballsy move by Carl because he doesn't have a Solemn or anything like that to stop it. But anyway, LaBounty draws into a Graceful Charity. Draws into a Sork, another Rhoda, and a Sakuretsu Armor. So I think Warrior Lady is going to go to the graveyard, and then let's see, it's either the Snatch Steal or the Rhoda. The Rhoda's going to be able to handle any monster, so I think he's going to keep the Rhoda, but let's see what's going to happen here anyways. Okay, so he gets rid of the knock to keep the Rhoda. I mean, to keep the Snatch Steal. Swings in with Dawn. Carl's gonna eat that. He's not gonna mill any cards from the top of his deck. He's just gonna set the Saku and pass over. Carl draws into a Sangan. I think he's gonna set this here, obviously, right? Okay, get back his Serpent. Set Sangan, pass over. LaBounty draws into a Judgment. activates Rhoda. I think he's gonna go for an Exiled Force because because Carl has way too many face downs here. But let's see what's gonna happen. Yep, so he goes for Exile Force. Exile Force is gonna rip the Sangan out of there. That's gonna search him a Night Assailant. Let's see his graveyard. So I think Carl Waite is trying to eat this and get the Night Assailant in the grave so he can get back his Magician of Faith. But let's see what the play is gonna be. Swings in for 14. LaBounty doesn't activate any of the effects. He just sets another face down and passes over. End phase activates. End phase Carl activates Sing Zan Hu. Carl now draws into Berserk Gorilla. He's obviously going to swing into this Don. Pass over. LaBounty draws into a Mirror Force. So he's going to activate Snatch Steal here. He's going to let that go through. White's going to eat 2K. Mirror Force is going to go down. Pass over to Carl. Carl's going to draw of Greed. Gain 1,000. And then I think he's going to set the Serpent here, if I'm not mistaken. But let's see. Yeah, so he sets the Serpent. LaBounty draws into a Heavy Storm, which I don't think he wants to activate that. Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to activate that just yet. Let's see what's going to happen. Swings in. Serpent goes to grave. Carl draws into another Berserk Gorilla. Gains a grand. Gets himself back his Sinister Serpent. Sets first, then activates Jar of Greed. Maybe he forgot that he had the Jar of Greed down. But anyways, he activates Jar, gets himself a Spy. Yeah, he could have set that. LaBounty draws into Call of the Haunted. So he kills the Berserk Gorilla. Passes over. Carl draws into a Jar of Greed. So I think now he's going to set this Spy also with the Jar and pass over. But again, let's see what the play is going to be. LaBounty draws into another Judgment. Plays Heavy Storm. Jar of Greed is going to get activated here. Which draws Carl a Heavy Storm. So LaBounty is going to set Judgment and call and pass over. Carl draws into Solemn Judgment. Obviously, this Heavy Storm's gonna come down now. That's gonna get eaten up by the Solemn Judgment. Gravekeeper Spy gets flipped up. Everything in attack mode. I think he's going for game here. Okay, so he's not gonna summon the Berserk. He's just gonna mana for 12 and 12. He's gonna eat that. Tests Night Assailant with the Sakuretsu armor and passes over. LaBounty draws into knock. So I think he's gonna drop the Sork here to start picking apart these Serpents. I'm sorry, picking apart these Gravekeeper Spies. And then Knock's gonna get rid of the new one, because the old one is most likely the Serpent. But let's see what's gonna happen. Drops the Sork. So he's gonna swing in to the Spy. That's gonna get Saku'd. And I think Call of the Haunted is gonna get activated here. Yeah. Donzalu is gonna rip up this Spy. And then Berserk Gorilla is gonna go to the graveyard, activate Nobleman on the face down. Pass over. So that was really good for LaBounty, but LaBounty is still in a tough spot. White's just gonna put this Gravekeeper Spy in defense mode and start passing. And that's only if he doesn't draw into a big guy to swing into this Donzalug. But let's see what Carl draws. So Carl draws into a Graceful Charity. I would just activate this here because any Chaos Monster and you win the game, right? So he draws into Duo, Solemn, and Upstart. Plays the Upstart, grabs the BLS. That was wild. Oh man. All right, so I would have done that differently. I would have kept the Solemn because this is a hard spot for LaBounty. And then I don't know if I'm going to draw into that Chaos Monster. So I'm just giving him more life. But anyways, he plays the Upstart Goblin and grabs a BLS. He does have Light and Dark, right? Let's just double check this graveyard. Yeah, he has Light and Dark, obviously. So he's going to drop this, and that's the end of the match, guys. Yo, so that was that. So my boy Carl White, 2-0's Jonathan LaBounty. Again, both of these guys, amazing players. Shout out to Carl White, yo. One of the reasons, Carl White is probably one of the biggest reasons why I'm still running this YouTube channel, and he doesn't even know it. And he barely gets put on my channel. But he was my #1 supporter when I started this whole thing. And I love you, brother. Congratulations on this big win. And I hope to see more wins for you to come, bro. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's that. I really hope you enjoyed this match. Guys, if there were any plays you would have done differently, please let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, if you want your match showcased on my channel, all you have to do is send them to me through Discord, or you can send them to me through Dueling Book. My username is GringingGoatFormat. You can find my Discord down in the description below. Guys, if you want to help support this channel, check out my TCG player in the description below, or you can check out my merch link, which is also in the description below. Get yourself some dope GringingGoatFormat merch, and I'll see you guys on the next one, all right? Peace.